What's up, people? It's your boy Levelhead back with another video. If you didn't check out the last video I uploaded, I did upload a new Live and Level Gamers podcast. My boy Mr. L Live wasn't able to make it, but I did have some special guests. I had my boy John Shaw from Full Effect Gaming. That's fulleffectgaming.com. And I also had my boy K-Bum20 from Straight Talk. You know who he is. But we went in on that podcast. We dealt with some very uncomfortable, very thought-provoking conversation. We dealt with, the first topic really was the one that was kind of uncomfortable, where we dealt with the thought of, is there a biasness when it comes to journalism in gaming? Meaning, is there a lack of diversity when it comes to, you know, minorities in gaming? And we talked about that. We also dealt with minorities in this YouTube community and how we need to go about maybe dealing a little bit differently if we expect, you know, people to really frequent us and support us. We might need to change the way we do things as well. But we dealt with both sides of the coin. But I want y'all to go check that out. It's sitting at about 300 and something views right now. I need y'all to make that pop up. And also go check out the video before that where I dropped one of my latest tracks. It's called Life. That is me. So if you haven't listened to those, go check it out. But let's get into this video, man. I want to talk about something that's been on my mind, and it's dealing with a topic that I rarely talk about, and that's Nintendo's handheld devices, you know, and their handheld division. And my thought is, what does Nintendo need to do to maintain being the top dog, you know what I'm saying, the king on the mountain when it comes to handheld mobile devices? Now, we know that Nintendo has been dominating this area in gaming since the original Game Boy. Since they released the original Game Boy, Nintendo has dominated this area. There has been many who tried to dethrone the god, not the god, because they're not the god, but the king. That's a better way to say it, because ain't nobody God. I don't say that, you know me. But anyway, the king that's on top of this mountain, many people have come and tried to dethrone Nintendo, but they have all failed. But there is signs that some things might need to change when it comes to mobile devices and Nintendo's handheld department. Now, I got some numbers I want to throw out to y'all. Starting with the Game Boy Advance. Now this is, I compared the Game Boy Advance, the DS, and the 3DS first 3 years on the market, where they were with hardware sales and where they were with software sales after a 3-year collapse. You know what I'm saying? So with the Game Boy Advance, in 3 years they had sold 51.4 million pieces of hardware, and they had sold 183.79 pieces of software. Pretty good, real good for 3 years on the market. That's good. The DS in the 3-year span sold 64.79 million pieces of hardware and 330.87 million pieces of software. That's really good, really good. Now the 3DS in 3-year span sold 43.34 million pieces of hardware. Y'all can write this stuff down. And with software, they sold 162.95 million pieces of software. That's good as well. But if you notice, this number is lower than both the DS and the Game Boy Advance. Now, the reason is because mobile devices, tablets, iPads, and other things, smartphones, have creeped into this market and is unbalancing this market to where there's more options than what was there before, and there's more competition than what was there before. So Nintendo has much more to fight off, and that's trying to take this throne, that's trying to get on this mountain that they got to ward off. And to me, Nintendo might need to do something to, you know what I'm saying, stay ahead of the game rather than to react. Because they're at the top and they're still the top dog. They're still the number one device out there for mobile gaming. But to stay ahead of the curve, Nintendo might have to embrace something. Now, I want to use an example because I didn't believe that. I remember I used to hear people always want Nintendo, you know, the Michael Pachters and all these other people. And it's still kind of false. It's real. It's kind of word playing, but there is some truth in it, but not the way they was trying to spin it. They always try to spin it to where it's a doom and gloom thing for Nintendo, which that's not the case. But there is some truth because the numbers are proving that the handheld mobile device area is saturated enough to where it is kind of affecting the way Nintendo handheld is selling. Now, they always want Nintendo to, you know what I'm saying, embrace other mobile devices. Put your, you know what I'm saying, put your first party IPs on these other devices and expand your reach. Reach folks who would never pick up a 3DS or a DS. You know, and all that, just like the Wii caused a whole influx of new people to come in. They want Nintendo to embrace these mobile devices and reach even more people with their, you know what I'm saying, beautiful, excellent first party IPs. But that's the problem. The reason Nintendo is number one is because of their first party IPs. It's like playing spades. If you got the number one ace in the spade deck, if you don't play with the jokers, then that ace trumps everything, and Nintendo's first party trumps everything. If you play with the jokers, then Nintendo always has the big joker. You know what I'm saying? Now, you can attest that to other games. You play checkers, Nintendo is always on king me. That's dope. But anyway, so Nintendo is always on the top because their IPs are the top. No one is trumping Mario. No one is beating Zelda. No one is beating Metroid. No one is beating Donkey Kong. No one is messing with Mario Kart, just like Mario Kart is proven right now with the Wii U. Mario Kart is single-handedly handing the industry and smashing all the critics and making them eat their own words like Bruce Lee did when he walked into that dojo. That's what they doing. Eat. That's what Nintendo doing right now. Now, so with that being said, why would Nintendo risk saturating their first party IPs and whoring them out to different devices and only causing themselves to lose the trump card that they have by putting these IPs on other devices? It makes no sense. But my aunt, like I said, my aunt is in town, and I'm trying to, you know, be quick, but my aunt is in town and I've noticed something since she's been here. And I'm sorry that I use my aunt. I love my aunt, you know what I'm saying? But my mom, I seen stuff that I haven't really noticed. My aunt plays on a Samsung Galaxy Tab. And she plays many games on here. And my mom has, I don't even know the name of my mom's tablet or whatever it is, but she has one too, and she's always playing Candy Crush. And my aunt is always playing this game, and I noticed my daughter, who is only 3 years old, always gets my wife's phone or always get my mother's phone or my phone or my aunt's phone and can always find the games that are on there, and she knows how to play those games, and she's only 3. But then I noticed something else. My son, who has a 3DS, will much rather play with my aunt's tab, Samsung Tab, or he would rather play with my wife's phone or rather play with my mom's tablet. I don't know what hers is called. She got it off some TV thing. And I started watching this, and I have his 3DS, and I was playing Zelda, Link Between Two Worlds, and he was enjoying himself with a tab or a tablet or whatever smartphone he could get his hands on. He would much rather play with that. Now, I got to thinking, if Nintendo wants to remain top dog, Nintendo might need to embrace a tablet or tab-like mobile device made by them. Now, if you've seen, like, they got a new Samsung Galaxy Tab S out. It's a new one. It's a nice looking. I've been looking at these things for a while, but I never thought about what if Nintendo made their own tab or pad, like the gamepad. You mean, but sleek, has the option, you know, a slide down where you can play with, you know, traditional controllers, and then you also have the option of touch screen. Nintendo has the cachet, they have the money, and I believe if Nintendo made their own tab where you could also get all these, you know what I'm saying, indie developers who frequent tab, make cheap tab style games, you know what I'm saying, touch sensitive games where you don't need a traditional controller to play, which most folks are starting to embrace, like the Candy Crush, you know what I'm saying, the other games where you shoot the balls up and it causes cylinder fall. I can't think of that name. They got so many different styles of that same game, but Bust a Move, that's what it originally was, but many other iterations of that game with different names is out right now, so, but they really stole that from Bust a Move. But games like that where you get the grandmas and you get the aunts and the people who don't really care to pick up a 3DS, you would get that audience, and then you could also get that traditional gamer like myself and all the other ones all in one place. What if Nintendo made a gaming tab or tablet or pad, whatever, that has all the things you would need and does everything? Maybe not cell phone, maybe it's not a phone, but if you want to search the internet like you do on your game pad with the Wii U, you could do all that. If you want to get on YouTube, if you want to go on Facebook, you can do all that. You want to go on Twitch, you want to go on Skype, you can do that all on this gaming tab of Nintendo's. And you can get all those indies and all those little cheap, quick to play games from all the third party. And you can get the first party games that Nintendo make. It's sleek, it looks like something that you will want to own. Is you know what I'm saying, it's friendly to mobile people who gets around, you know, cause the 3DS is kind of bulky. It fits in your pocket, but it's still a little bulky. But if you can get something like a tab or, you know what I'm saying, a Galaxy S or something like that, that can fit in your phone like a smartphone, fit in your pocket like a smartphone, but it's a Nintendo device, I think kids would love that, and I think adults will love it just the same or even the more, because it has that appeal that most are going for, but it's just made by Nintendo, and it can kind of get them out of that stigma of being just a kiddie thing, which we all know that it's not, and we know that many adults and real gamers, hardcore gamers embrace the 3DS. But if you can get it to look like the tabs and the iPads and the Galaxy tabs and the tablets and the smartphones, and it's a Nintendo device, dude, I think you have a hit and you stay ahead of the game. You might not be the first to come out with it, but you stay ahead of the curve before the curve totally changed and you lose a market that you created. So down in the comments, I want you to leave your thoughts. What do you think a Nintendo tab-like mobile device could look like? What features do it need to have on it? All these different things I want you to, you know what I'm saying, speculate. I want you to get into your thoughts and get creative and leave leveled head all what you think, and I'm going to combine all that, and we're going to have a broader discussion about this when I can get my boy Red Knight, I can get my boy John Shaw, I can get my boy Mr. L Live, I can get all the other people, even down to Triforce Johnson himself, and we're going to talk about it. So this is your boy Levelhead. Listen to me. Continue to like. Hit the subscribe button, because I saw some of y'all stop following your boy. I'm back. I'm trying to do this, but I got a life, people. I ain't going to do this every day. But I'm signing out. Deuces. Peace.